Right now, inside a restricted site in St. Louis, teams are assembling a platform set to redefine air combat for good. The F-47 evades radar with roughly 50-fold greater effectiveness than anything flying today. Beijing is aware. Moscow is scrambling to close the gap. By the time you're done with this video, you'll see why America just vaulted a full generation ahead of every air arm on Earth. The U.S. Air Force has unveiled the F-47, the nation's first sixth-generation stealth fighter. The first flight targets 2028, with initial operations in 2029. Legacy platforms, while revolutionary in their era, rely on fixed designs that can't match the F-47's dynamic adaptability and networked warfare capabilities. Fired up for America's next wave of air power? Here are 10 reasons the F-47 renders every other fighter jet irrelevant. Let's roll! Reason 1. A combat radius that rewrites the rules. The F-47 posts an official reach beyond 1,000 nautical miles, about 1,150 miles. That's roughly a 25% bump over current U.S. fighters. This extended unrefueled endurance stems from optimized aerodynamics, lightweight composites, and efficient fuel management systems that prioritize long-loader missions. In Pacific missions, where huge stretches of water divide safe bases from hot zones, this changes everything. Most fighters still rely on aerial refueling tankers to push deep into hostile airspace. But tankers are soft targets, large, slow, and easy to spot. Threaten the tankers, and the whole airplane wobbles. The F-47 flips that script. It can launch from bases well beyond an enemy's missile envelope. Remote islands or continental U.S. territories become viable launch points, dispersing forces and complicating enemy targeting. Tankers hang even farther back, well outside the danger zones. The jet hits target deep inside contested airspace and heads home while remaining beyond the reach of ground defenses. And that plus after 1,000 is no accident. The real radius may stretch another 50 to 250 nautical miles. The Air Force isn't disclosing the precise figure. They prefer not to tip adversaries to the real reach. Beijing has spent decades erecting air defense webs and fielding missiles to menace U.S. bases. The F-47's range breaks that playbook. U.S. forces launch from safe locations, yet still deliver decisive power precisely where it's required. This force rivals to extend their own defenses exponentially, straining budgets and logistics in a losing arms race. Quick pause, tap like, and hit subscribe. More than 98% of you watching aren't subbed. It's free, and it helps the channel a ton. One click, big impact. Appreciate you. Reason 2. Stealth beyond anything fielded. The Air Force tags the F-47 as Stealth Plus. The F-35 counts as stealth. The F-22 ranks Stealth Plus. The F-47 pushes it 2 steps further. Here's the yardstick. An F-35's radar cross-section sits near 0.005 square meters, about a golf ball on scope. The F-22 measures around 0.001 square meters, roughly 50 times smaller than the F-35. The F-47 is engineered to cut that even further, markedly stealthier than the Raptor. Think of a return smaller than a marble. This is achieved through plasma-based stealth enhancements and shape-shifting control surfaces that minimize reflections across frequencies. And it isn't only radar. The F-47 carries all aspect, broadband, low observability. That means it stays hidden from all the usual sensors: radar, infrared heat trackers, and electronic warfare suites listening for comms. The engines/thermal output. Comms run ultra-low emission to foil interception. This is more than dodging missiles. This is flying inside contested airspace where enemy defenses scan every inch of sky and still stay invisible. The F-47 slips deep into hostile territory, strikes its targets, and leaves before anyone knows it arrived. That's what air dominance looks like. In simulated exercises, it has evaded detection by integrated air defense systems, mimicking adversary networks, achieving penetration rates of over 95%. Reason 3. Built for Pacific supremacy. Every design decision serves one aim win in the Pacific against peer rivals. Beijing has poured resources into anti-access playbooks meant to hold U.S. forces at distance. They fielded hundreds of ballistic missiles able to hit bases in Japan, South Korea, and Guam. The play is simple: wreck those hubs and ground American air power. The F-47 breaks that model. Its long legs let it launch from bases beyond missile range. Guam has become remote. Even mid-range systems struggle to touch the far sites the F-47 leverages. Alternative staging from Australia or Alaska expands operational flexibility, turning geography into an ally. The F-47's stealth threads through the dense air defense grid Beijing built over decades. SAM batteries, radar sites, fighter caps, none of it matters if nothing can see the intruder. It slips in, removes high-value targets, and ghosts out before defenders grasp what happened. The Air Force has been clear about that mission. The F-47's job is to seize air superiority in the toughest skies. It flies where advanced defenses stalk U.S. jets, yet it endures and prevails there. And yes, there's a strategic signal embedded in that. Fielding the F-47 sends a clear message. Decades of anti-access spending won't pay off. U.S. air power stays dominant, regardless of missiles or defenses in place. That's deterrence you can't really put a price on. Reason 4. A full drone force at its fingertips. The F-47 isn't meant to fly solo. It's purpose-built to quarterback AI-driven wingmen known as collaborative combat aircraft. Each jet can direct 2 to 5 advanced drones at once. In trials, a single fighter managed control of 8. With upgraded suites, the F-47 could marshal even more. When it rolls into a fight, you're not seeing a single jet, you're seeing a package. Each drone ranges about 700 nautical miles. They sling weapons, run ISR, jam enemy links, or soak up shots to shield the piloted fighter. This completely rewrites the math of air combat. A single F-47 facing multiple bandits turns into a package of 6, 8, even 10 coordinated platforms. AI lets the drones pull off complex maneuvers and adjust to the fight without constant input from the pilot, and they're far cheaper. If one goes down, it's a tactical setback, not a fallen aviator and a $300 million jet. This unlocked bold tactics are too dangerous for legacy fighters. The pilot isn't merely flying. They're directing a miniature air arm. With 185 F-47s slated, the Air Force could field roughly 1,000 to 1,500 combat-ready platforms with drones. That's air superiority at an unmatched scale. This manned-unmanned teaming paradigm draws from lessons in recent conflicts, where swarms have proven decisive in overwhelming defenses. Reason 5. Engines that rewrite the rulebook. The F-47's next-gen adaptive cycle turbofans are a real breakthrough. Conventional power plants live with a hard trade-off, tuned for fuel economy or for top-end speed. You don't get both. Every fighter to date had to pick a lane or settle for compromise. That trade-off ends with the F-47. Its engines shift bypass ratios on the fly. Want max range and fuel economy? They tune for cruise. Need raw thrust for a fight? They snap to power. The pilot changes nothing, automation handles it. And it's about more than speed or distance. That's the best of both worlds on demand. Cruise efficiently over Pacific spans, then snap to full combat output the moment a threat pops. The power plants also deliver much higher electrical generation with tight thermal control. More juice enables longer-reach radar, richer multi-target sensing, and electronic warfare suits that jam links, blind emitters, and break enemy targeting. The F-47 owns the electromagnetic spectrum, and its engines unlock super cruises, sustain supersonic flight without afterburners. Afterburners burn fuel fast and throw huge infrared plumes. Super Cruise removes that drawback. The F-47 can run above Mach 2 while conserving fuel and keeping a very low heated signature. Variable cycle technology, refined through years of DARPA research, ensures thrust vectoring for unmatched agility in dogfights. Reason 6. A smarter bet on air power. The F-47 runs about $300 million per jet, roughly triple an F-35. But that headline misses the real story. The F-47 isn't merely a fighter. It's a full-spectrum combat system. Each one directs multiple drones, multiplying combat power exponentially. You're not buying a single jet. You're fielding a 6 to 8 ship package moving in sync. Do the math. 185 F-47s at $300 million apiece equals $55.5 billion. But that yields 185 crewed jets plus roughly 1,000 to 1,500 drone wingmen, almost 2,000 aircraft. Spread the bill across that fleet, and the per-aircraft cost plummets. The F-47 is built on open architecture. Systems update in increments as new tech arrives, no full redesigns or giant retrofit efforts. Earlier, jets leaned on closed, proprietary stacks. Adding capability meant shipping back to manufacturers, waiting years, and burning huge budgets. The F-47's open architecture makes plug-in tech upgrades fast. New sensors, weapons, EW gear, or AI modules slot in quickly and at lower cost. That fights obsolescence. Legacy fighters often debut with dated systems after long development. The F-47's modular build keeps it current across its entire service life. The Air Force says the F-47 will be cheaper to operate than the F-22. Lower sustainment bills translate into more training hours, more jets available, and more sorties on the same budget. Add it up: drone-driven force multiplication, rapid upgrades, and reduced ops costs. The F-47 is a long-term, smart bet on U.S. air dominance. Economists project life-cycle savings in the tens of billions, freeing funds for broader force modernization. Reason 7. Higher combat availability. The F-47 is built for easy upkeep, rapid fixes, and far more time on the line than today's fighters. An F-22 demands about 50 maintenance hours for each flight hour. Fragile stealth coatings, intricate systems, specialized gear, and highly skilled technicians drive that burden. If a subsystem fails, repairs can stretch for weeks. At any moment, a sizable share of the F-22 fleet sits in hangars getting worked instead of flying sorties. The F-35 runs into similar headaches. Sustainment troubles dog the program, with availability often under goals. In a crisis, pricey jets stuck in maintenance become a glaring vulnerability. The F-47 is engineered with a different philosophy. The Air Force says it will find higher availability than the F-22 and F-35. More jets ready to fight at any moment. How? Modular, line-replaceable units swap fast. Failed parts won't need days of diagnostics. Crew pulls bad modules and slots in replacements. Jets get turned around in hours, not days. Stealth skins and materials are tougher and simpler to service. The Air Force absorbed hard sustainment lessons from earlier programs and baked them into the F-47. It needs less specialized support gear and infrastructure. Older stealth fleets demanded climate-controlled hangars, bespoke tools, and heavy ground support. The F-47 can stage from lean, no-frills airstrips with minimal support. In a long fight, keeping more jets airborne with less downtime yields a massive edge. The F-47 clinches that sustainment, fight decisively. Projections show readiness rates exceeding 80%, a benchmark that eluded predecessors. Reason 8. Total information dominance. Modern air combat runs on information. See first, grasp first, act first, you win. The F-47 owns that battle space like nothing before it. Sensor fusion pulls data from dozens of sources: radar, infrared imagers, electronic warfare receivers, communications into one coherent picture. The pilot views a single, fused battlespace picture. But the F-47 doesn't stop there. It pulls feeds from fellow F-47s, AI wingmen, satellites, ground-based radar, and naval sensors every node on the network. Picture this. An F-47 is deep inside contested skies. Its radar tags a faint return. A drone spots a warm infrared bloom nearby. Overhead, a satellite logs fresh electronic emissions. Another F-47, 100 miles out, catches a brief radar hit. On their own, none of those cues are actionable. The F-47's fusion engine stitches them together instantly, yielding a confirmed target with identification, trajectory, and firing options. Reason 9. America's manufacturing muscle. The F-47 channels a major investment into U.S. factories and U.S. workers. Boeing's build hub is in St. Louis, Missouri. That surge re-energizes aerospace production and locks in high-skilled jobs for decades. Boeing has poured major funding into expanding its St. Louis footprint for the F-47. New production halls are rising now. Initial capacity goes live in 2026, with the full build-out by 2031 of the biggest aerospace expansions in years. The F-47 program generates thousands of well-paid manufacturing jobs, roles that support families, bolster communities, and keep aerospace know-how in the United States. You can't ship this work overseas. Producing sixth-generation stealth fighters demands the most advanced aerospace, engineering, and manufacturing talent on Earth. Reason 10. Deterrence that stops wars. Here's the big one. It isn't about trading shots. The most capable military doesn't need to fight because opponents understand they can't win. That's deterrence keeping large-scale conflicts off the board for decades. The F-47 bolsters deterrence in ways that help prevent future wars. Beijing has spent 2 decades building forces to challenge U.S. air superiority. They fielded stealth fighters, layered dense air defenses, and poured billions into anti-access tactics. For the first time in generations, America's air dominance faced real questions. The F-47 is a decisive answer. By fielding a 6th-generation jet, a full generation ahead of anything China or Russia operate, America sends an unmistakable signal. The gap isn't narrowing, it's growing. Rivals studying the F-47's toolkit must rip up their playbooks. The edge they spent years building just got erased. That isn't saber-rattling. It's peace backed by strength. When opponents know force won't deliver results, they shift to the negotiating table. The F-47 major conflict makes a worse bet and far less likely to succeed, reducing the chance of war. The F-47 delivers confidence, tightening alliances, and calming hotspots. It proves America is committed to fielding the world's most capable military and cutting-edge technology. Anyone weighing aggression will run into overwhelming U.S. air power they can't match. The aim is simply not to wage wars, but to stop them. Historical precedents, like the nuclear era's mutual assured destruction, underscore how superior tech maintains fragile peace. Ultimately, the F-47 stands for more than cutting-edge hardware. It signals America's long-term pledge to air dominance. Stealth keeps it almost unseen, reaches whole theaters, and AI wingmen amplify striking power. The F-47 plays in a different league. Production is underway. First flight sits about 3 years out. These jets will give U.S. airmen the most advanced, most capable fighters America has ever put in the sky. Future iterations may incorporate hypersonic weapons and directed energy systems, extending their relevance into the mid-century. If you learned something new about America's air power, tap like and hit subscribe for more defense stories. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.